Let's face it, software testing is a crucial part of the development process. But here's a shocking fact: 70% of software testing projects fail. That's right, most testing initiatives don't achieve their goals. And it's not because developers don't care about quality. In fact, on average, 40% of a developer's time is spent on testing. So, what's going wrong? The common belief is that testing is just about finding bugs. But that's only half the story. What if I told you that the number one reason tests fail isn't because of technical issues, but because of a lack of understanding of what testing really means? So, what is software testing, and why is it so challenging? Let's break it down. Software testing is the process of verifying and validating that a piece of software meets its requirements and works as expected. It's not just about finding bugs, it's about ensuring that the software is reliable, stable, and performs well under various conditions. Think of it like testing a car before it's released to the market. You want to make sure it drives smoothly, brakes properly, and doesn't have any major issues. The goal of software testing is to identify defects and report them so that they can be fixed. But it's not just about finding defects, it's also about ensuring that the software meets its requirements and works as expected. But here's where it gets interesting. There are different types of testing, and each has its own unique challenges. There are two main types of software testing: functional testing and non-functional testing. Functional testing focuses on the functionality of the software, verifying that it behaves as expected. Non-functional testing, on the other hand, focuses on the attributes of the software, such as performance, security, and usability. Functional testing is like testing a car's engine. You want to make sure it's running smoothly and efficiently. Non-functional testing is like testing the car's performance on different types of terrain. You want to make sure it can handle different conditions. But which type of testing is more important? Well, it depends on the project. Both are crucial, but in different ways. The software testing process has evolved over the years. From the early days of manual testing to the current era of automated testing, the process has become more sophisticated. In the 1950s, the first software testing techniques were developed. These early techniques were manual and time-consuming. In the 1970s, black box and white box testing were introduced. These techniques allowed testers to test software more efficiently. But here's where it gets interesting. The Agile revolution in the 1990s changed the way software testing was done. Agile testing methodologies emphasized iterative and incremental testing. Software testing is not without its challenges. One of the biggest challenges is a lack of resources. Testing requires time, money, and personnel. But often, these resources are limited. Tight deadlines are another challenge. Testing is a time-consuming process, and deadlines are often tight. This can lead to rushed testing, which can result in defects being missed. Changing requirements are also a challenge. When requirements change, testing plans need to be updated. This can be time-consuming and costly. But what can be done to overcome these challenges? Let's explore some solutions. So, what are some best practices in software testing? First, test early and often. This helps to catch defects early in the development process. Second, use automated testing tools. Automated testing can save time and reduce the risk of human error. Third, continuously monitor and improve. Testing is an ongoing process. It requires continuous monitoring and improvement to ensure that software meets its requirements. But here's the thing. Even with best practices, testing can still be a challenge. Let's take a look at a practical example. Suppose we're testing a simple calculator program. We can write a test case using Python. In this example, we're testing the addition function. We're asserting that 1 plus 1 equals 2. This is a simple example, but it illustrates the point. Testing is an essential part of software development. In conclusion, software testing is a critical part of the development process. It's not just about finding bugs, it's about ensuring that software meets its requirements and works as expected. We've covered the different types of testing, the testing process, challenges, and best practices. We've also seen a practical example of testing in action. The shocking truth about software testing is that it's not just about technical issues, it's also about understanding what testing really means. And here's where it gets interesting. In our next episode, we'll be discussing mastering test automation. We'll explore the ins and outs of test automation and how it can help you streamline your testing process. Don't miss it!